Welcome everyone to another night review. Today we have the 2021 Kia K5 GT. Now in this night video, we're gonna take a look at all these exterior lights, the interior lights, and take it out on the road for a test drive. Let's go ahead and get started. My name is Nolan. I just wanna say thank you for watching. I do these kind of night videos and full daytime reviews as well every single week. So after you watch this video, if you've enjoyed it, be sure to subscribe down below and smash that like button because it really helps me out. But let's go ahead and dig in, and I hope you enjoy. All right, y'all, let's take a look at these exterior lights on this K5 GT. So there are some extras, and these headlights are actually a little bit disappointing. I'll have to show you and tell you all about that in just a second. But first of all, every K5 is gonna get these LED daytime running lights and LED headlight standard. That is the heartbeat, the blinker right there, their signature LED daytime running light. You can see we have the newest version of the Tiger nose grille, the Tiger face, and these headlights are actually the optional GT1 package headlights. So these are projector beams instead of the regular reflectors, and you'll get LED fog lights standard. What do y'all think of the way those look? Now these projectors are what are in question, and I'll tell you all about that in just a second. Now looking at the side, you can see a nice bright marker light, and just the headlight in general really takes up a lot of the side panel up front. And you've got 19-inch wheels with this GT model. I think it looks pretty nice. I do have a full daytime review if you want to see all the details, but take a look at this sapphire blue paint. This blue paint really stands out. This has kind of a fastback design as well. I'd love to know what you guys think, and the GT model gets a little bit different treatment. We've got body colored door handles, gloss black mirrors, and some unique trim on the side. And then the tail light, look at this. We've got more long tail lights, very similar to the Hyundai Sonata that we saw last year. No LED license plate lights, not a big deal, but you've got this LED dashed bar running across, which is LED, but these are not full LED taillights. So you've got some LED, but it is combination because your reverse lights and your blinker are incandescent, as you can see right there. And then as you can see on the side body, that mirror has a blinker in it as well. And then in the cargo area, you can't really expect that much with a mainstream sedan, but there is a light, as you can see, shining down right there. There's no side lights or anything like that, but there is a little incandescent light right up above, so not too bad. And as I always like to give you a look, just look at this blue sapphire paint. It definitely has some flake in it too. Looks pretty nice. And then in the back seat, I have it set up to where the lights will turn on as we get in. And look, this is actually pretty well lit up. And with our GT1 package, we've got LED interior lights all the way around. Something that's nice to see, you don't always see, are backlit charging ports even in the back seat. And then check this out. We have the smart key system, and I have it set up to where when you approach the vehicle, the door handle will actually illuminate. It's just the front door handles, and there's no spectacular approach lighting, but at least you get an illuminated door handle. And then as we open up this door, we've got more LED lights in here. It is pretty bright, and we've got these GT specific seats. So these are sport bucket seats. We've got GT written on them. Got some red lining. It'd be kind of cool if it was maybe blue lining because the exterior is blue, but let's go ahead and hop in and take a look at these lights. All right, let's go ahead and start it up. So we've got push button start, foot on the brake. And you've got a nice big screen right there, but let's go ahead and run through the interior lights. So right away over on the door, you'll see you've got memory settings right there that are illuminated if it'll focus. And there's no real ambient lighting in here, and I'll talk about that in a little bit. But all of the buttons and switches down here are illuminated, so that's good to see. Then over here, you've got actual brightness controls. So this button is for your interior brightness. So as I do that, it'll show up on here. It adjusts this instrument cluster and the main display. Now I'm going to briefly go through the interior because I go through it in more detail in the full review, but you can see your steering wheel buttons are well illuminated as well. Those are all easy to see, no troubles with that. I am a little bit surprised that our display here is just 4.2 inches, but that's for another discussion. But you've got big vibrant gauges, actual analog gauges, both left and right. And our lighting controls are right here. Most of the time you can just keep it in auto mode. You can turn them completely off, have your daytime running lights, or just manually turn your headlights on. And then this little guy is for your fog lights, off or on. And then for the automatic high beams, all you got to do is flick your stock forward to turn those on or off, and you can see the little auto indicator up there. And then this is actually a 10.25 inch screen, which is optional. An 8-inch screen is standard, but I like the little backlit illumination around the volume knob. You've got actual illuminated touch points on the left and the right. So over here you can see this is touchscreen even over there, but you've got illuminated buttons. And let me show you some of the light controls. So go to setup and then go to vehicle. And you can go to lights right here. So there's really not a lot you can do. You can turn your automatic high beams on or off. The headlight delay feature right here for 15, or the headlights will stay on for 15 seconds after you leave it. So not much there. But if you go to convenience, and then when you select welcome light, you can have the door handles light up when you approach the vehicle, like I showed you out there. Or you can turn it off. But I think my favorite thing is after you go to setup, go to display and check this out. So not only do you have an automatic setting, daylight and night, to change the brightness, but you also have a blue light filter. So most of your smartphones, electronics will have this. So the blue light filter helps to reduce eye strain and basically help you sleep, so it's not so stimulating. So you can turn that off or on if you want, but you can be comfortable knowing that you'll drive your car at night and not have blue light in your face. And just a quick look, shift into reverse, you got just a regular backup camera. It does move. You got parking sonar, but there is no 360 camera. And then down here you've got dual zone climate control. Everything is lit up. That looks nice. And then even just below that, you've got a couple of backlit USB charging ports, and there's a 12-volt power outlet. And then as I pull back, you can see this is all really dark down here. I mean, you do have some controls right here that are nice controls, like your heated and ventilated seats, heated steering wheel, drive mode, things like that, but you really need to turn on the overhead lights to know what is going on right here. Excuse my hairy leg. But good sized cup holders, but there's no ambient lighting whatsoever. There's no dash lights, there's no overhead light that is just a gentle glow. You just get the bright LED lights up above. And another complaint is that when you turn those off, you have no idea where the button is. I mean, there's no light on this button at all. So that's really surprising. You can press this one on the right to determine whether or not the lights turn on when you open the door. So for example, they turned on because I opened the door, but you can push that to turn that off. That's not an automatic dimming rearview mirror, it's just a regular manual flipping mirror. That's kind of surprising on the top trim that that's not automatic dimming. Another thing is that the center console is not lit up whatsoever, and open it up. It's good size, got a charging port in there too. And I have the glove box open right now, but it is not lit up. I'd have to show you that right there. But that's kind of surprising. Just a super cheap little light would be nice in there. And then out in front of us, this is where a lot of the big deal comes from. So every K5 comes with LED headlights standard between reflector or projector headlights. And these have a nice looking beam pattern. As you can see, they've got that dip in the middle to help prevent blinding oncoming traffic. And as I pull out, turn the fog lights on, you've got a little bit more up close and peripherals. But the big deal is, I'll put the charts on the screen and you can pause it if you need to. The grades from the IIHS for safety rate anywhere from poor to the top good rating. In fact, these GT headlights, if you have a GT built before December of 2020, you get the worst possible rating. If you get one after December of 2020 with the projection lights, you get the best possible rating. So this one was built in November with the projection headlights, so we've got the worst possible rating, and I'll tell you why when we get driving. All right, y'all, let's get going on this test drive. So with this night drive, my mission is for you to get a good idea of what it's like to be behind the wheel of this K5 at night, so you can get a feel for the headlights. We're going to start out with this point of view camera here, and then we'll cross over to that one so you can get a closer look and see the headlights in action. Now, these are not adaptive headlights, and like I said, there's a big difference between the projection headlights made before December of 2020 or the headlights made in December or later. And these were before, so these are supposed to have the poorest rating of them all. But if you want to see a full daytime review with all the driving impressions, I have that coming out soon after this video, so be sure to look in the description below. But just for fun, let's put it in sport mode, pedal down. Dang. I mean, seriously, this K5 pulls for a mid-size sedan in this class. This car's got some torque. I mean, it just comes out. Partial pedal right here. Boom. You got a dual clutch transmission as well. That does a nice job. But this is about the night video. We'll put it back in normal mode and we'll get on a real dark road in a second. But before that, the driver's side mirror is not automatic dimming. There's no automatic dimming side mirrors. There's no automatic dimming rear view mirror. So no automatic dimming mirrors at all, which is kind of surprising. I mean, that's a very common thing, especially the rear view mirror. But you know, that's just one way that Kia cut costs for this K5. And kind of like I mentioned, there's really no ambiance in here at all. I mean, it is just your basic buttons that are illuminated, and that's about it. The screens look nice, or this screen looks nice. This one's small, but the gauge cluster is easy to read. And I turned the automatic high beams on. I'm really curious to see if they'll turn on with these overhead street lights. We'll test them out in a little bit. It's pretty late. We might not get any oncoming traffic, but so far they're staying off. But we'll cycle through them when we get on our dark road. Okay, we're just about to turn onto the dark road, so we'll get a good idea of distance, how well they illuminate into corners, and all of that. But let's go ahead and switch cameras right now. And then as we come up over this hill, you'll be able to see the beam pattern. I mean, they have good distance where they can shine, so I like that. But as we flatten out, you can start to see a more prominent cutoff line. Quick high beams, low beams. Now, I don't think these are as bad as what they say on the poor rating. The good ones must do really well, but going into this corner, no adaptive function, but I can see what they mean. It's definitely pretty dark, not that far in front of the vehicle. But they are very bright in the areas that they do shine. Then coming over, still the low beams, high beams, low beams. Actually, I'm not that, you know, they're not great, but they're not as short, as bad as I thought they would have counted them. Now I'm going to put the automatic high beams on. So the high beams are on right now. And the high beam actually shines bright really close to the vehicle and not necessarily that far off. I mean, there's a huge bright spot right in front of the car. But the high beam has stayed on regardless of the surrounding street light. So I like that. And the high beams are still on. And now we have the low beams. I just turned the high beams off, but you can definitely see the hindrance of the distance here. And then peripherally, without the fog lights on, they don't really go all that wide. So that's probably a big negative. Turn the fog lights on and they're pretty much lit up next to the car. Not too much out into the ditches. But I wouldn't trash on these headlights as bad as what the IIHS did, but they have measurable ratings for all these headlights as far as distance goes. But you know, if the other headlights are that much better, then they must be pretty darn good, because these aren't too bad. They're nothing to sneeze at, but they definitely don't have as good of distance as I would have hoped. But watch. So low beams right now, high beams. You can see up there, but it's just really bright right in front of the car. Like, what is up with that? Low beams, high beams. Okay, so let me know what you guys think. I know it's kind of hard to tell from a camera angle, but be sure to check out some of my other night videos where you can kind of do a comparison side by side if you want to, and just see how well other lights do, including adaptive lights and things like that. But we have yet to hit any oncoming traffic, and I'm sorry about that. It is late. So because of that, let me go ahead and just floor it for you. Lots of torque in here. We'll definitely have more fun in the daytime drive for sure. But the automatic high beams are on. A lot of times automatic high beams shut off right here when they can see the street lights down there. There's a stoplight, and these are still on, so I'm really happy to hear that. But if you've never seen automatic high beams, they will turn off with oncoming traffic and turn back on when there is no oncoming traffic. So that's how they're supposed to work. We just haven't had any traffic, but let me know what you guys think. If you've enjoyed this video so far and you like this night review style, be sure to smash that like button down below to show me your support, and subscribe if you want to see more. Thank y'all so much for watching, and have a great night.